this is Stephen Howard, the creator of Humany Mindset. As you know, Humany is a word I created, combining humanity, and harmony to reflect our need for more peacefulness in our lives and more compassion. And that's what I'd like to talk about today is compassion. And probably the most important message is that compassion costs nothing, yet it reaps huge rewards. And that's why it's one of the four pillars of a human life. Now, most importantly, compassion needs to start with ourselves first. We have to forgive ourselves for anything and everything that has limited our peacefulness and our joy, really from as far back as we can remember to this very moment. The past is past. You control your future. You write your future. While empathy is an important trait for all human beings, compassion is more important. It's really the difference between telling someone you care about them and demonstrating and showing them how much you care. Compassion is when one's desire to help becomes an impactful action and an impactful response. Now, I said that compassion starts with ourselves. And self-compassion is a critical aspect of a Humany mindset because it's almost impossible to deliver compassion to others if we don't treat ourselves with kindness and respect. So self-compassion starts with dropping all the negative self-talk cascading around in your brain, all the negative doubts you have about yourself. Compassion is about your mindset and how this will impact your interactions with others. It's not about faking niceness and politeness. In fact, someone who's compassionate has a keen sense of empathy and consciously interacts with others through intentional and continuous acts of kindness. So a compassionate mindset is an intentional mindset. But you also have to think about others with this mindset. And your mindset needs to be that everyone is doing the best they can with the resources, whether those are mental or emotional resources, that they have at the moment. And if they're not, your hope is that whatever they're going through will become a learning experience or a growth experience for them. Either way, we have to remember it is where they are on their journey. And that's why the hardest part of compassion is being non-judgmental, or at least not expressing our judgments. As humans, we will judge others, we'll judge their behaviors, we'll judge their actions. But keeping these judgments silent to ourselves is the biggest hurdle. And the second biggest hurdle is not allowing these judgments to impact our mindsets or our biases or our interactions with other people. Now, sometimes the most compassionate act you can do for a person is to give them a kind word of support, of empathy, encouragement, or helpfulness. This is not the golden rule of do unto others as you would want done to you. It's really what some people refer to as the platinum rule. Do unto others as they would like to be done unto. So every interaction you have with different individuals requires a different methodology of compassion. Interestingly, it takes the same amount of time to express a friendly or encouraging word as it does to utter a criticism or a dismissive remark. We can choose to be compassionate just as easily as we can choose to be uncaring or unkind. Now, I'll admit, not everyone will want your sympathy. They won't all want your pithy words of wisdom, your comforting hugs, or your best intentional advice. You have to assess what they think they need or want, not what you think they need. And again, this is hard because we think we're more rational. We think they're emotional. We think we have the answers. But we have to understand what they need, what they perceive they need, not what we want to give them. It's also important, if you're going to be a compassionate person, not to take rejection seriously or personally. You may have misinterpreted their wants and needs. They may not be in a receptive state at the moment for your compassion. Accept this. Understand it. Try something else. Move on. You cannot fix every ill or unhappy person that you encounter. Be satisfied that you did not add to their unhappiness or sense of a foul situation. Be self-satisfied. You tried. Because giving compassion will not always be well received, nor will it always help. But if given genuinely, it will never hurt the other person or the situation. And that's an important thing to remember. You don't want to increase their agony, increase their anxiety. You don't want to hurt them. Most importantly, compassion is free to do. It's not going to cost you anything other than a modicum of effort. And it will provide you with some satisfaction. So there's some benefit for you, even if there, unfortunately, may not be benefit for the other person in this particular situation that you encounter. Now, here's a shameful aspect of human nature. Many people wait for others to show compassion before conveying it to someone else. That is so needy. It's better to be the first to give, the first to show compassion, knowing that you will receive the same in return from others, even if not from that person to whom you are currently displaying compassion. Don't make compassion conditional on the actions of others. Do not get discouraged if reciprocal compassion is not immediately demonstrated. The person giving compassion is the winner. So ask not what compassion you're likely to receive from others, but what compassion can you give to others? Because compassion requires courage. You must be willing to risk rejection, even ridicule. Most of the time, your efforts will be appreciated and acknowledged, but sometimes they won't. And your efforts should always be pleasing and recognized by yourself. Now, I like to chuckle and think about what would we be if everyone waited for others to be compassionate first. Well, most likely we'd be living in a world of divisiveness and discord. Oh, wait, we already are. So my final thought on compassion is that since we're all connected to one another, how we treat each other is of paramount importance. The more compassion we bring into our interactions, the greater our impact will be on the world at large. The greater will be our success in making the world a better place for our children and grandchildren to inherit. So I hope you go forth with more compassion, not just compassion in your heart, not just compassion as intentional, but authentic compassion, compassion that drives action, strong action. Not only will it help someone else's day, but it'll help yours as well. Thanks for watching. This is Stephen Howard. Please subscribe to our Humany Mindset channel. And I wish you a wonderful Humany Mindset week ahead. Thank you.